What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a Chihuahua in a little baseball cap. So I'm going to draw it out for all of y'all, and I'm going to draw it in marker so I can't quite erase. But I'm only doing that because you can't really see the pencil too well in the videos that I make. So without further ado, if you want, you can follow along with me for this video, or if you want, you can just totally ignore this video. This is really meant just to be something fun for y'all. It is not meant to be something that you absolutely have to do. So if you already made your dog and you don't feel like making a second one, just ignore this video or even just watch it for fun, but it's not anything that's necessary. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my dog's eyes. So I'm just going to make a circle over here. And you can see it's a little bit pointy right here. It's not really super pointy. It's just not a totally perfect circle. Then I'm going to make another circle right next to it. Just like that. I think that one is less circly than the first circle, but that's okay. He's a Chihuahua. He's a little crazy. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a second circle on the inside, and I'm going to make a third circle right inside of there. And then I'm going to shade all of this so that it's black. And I leave that little white, not just because I think it's cute, but also because it is something that we would see if this was a real picture, which it's not because it's very much a cartoon. But this is called the glint. So that's where the sunlight would be hitting the eye if this were a photo. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to do the other eye. And on this one, I kind of want the straw to be lit, looking real crazy. So I'm going to put his other eye facing the other direction. So he is looking two ways at once. And I just did the exact same thing I did on my first eye. Here we go. He does look a little crazy right now, but that's okay. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give him a little button nose. So the way I draw my noses is I make a hill in between those eyes. See, just a hill. And I'm going to make a curl here and then a curl here. So see, it's just two little curls, and then I'm going to make a third one right in the center. And that's his little tiny button nose. And then you make a tiny little line at the bottom. You don't have to do that. It just makes it look a little bit more like a real nose. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give him a mouth, and it's going to be like a sideways number 3. So if you want to look, sorry, I'm just getting the camera to try and refocus. I'm going to do my sideways number 3. So see, just like that. And that's the perfect way to do his little mouth. Then I'm going to give him a tongue sticking out, which will just be right in the middle. Blip. And then I'm going to give him the top of his snout, which is just going to be another hill that's right above his nose. And see, that looks really, really cute so far, in my personal opinion. The next thing I'm going to do for this Chihuahua is I am going to draw his hat. And I'm going to draw his hat before I draw the rest of his head, because I can't erase anything, and I want to make sure that I don't need to erase anything. And I know the hat is going to be the easiest way to start that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go above those eyes, and I'm going to make his hat just like that. So you can see it's just a big upside down U. And then I'm going to do a rounded bottom, just like that. And then I'm going to do 2 diagonal lines from either side. So I'm going to do 1 diagonal line, 2 diagonal lines. And then I'm going to do 1 more line that goes in between them, just like that. So now you have the hat and the brim of the hat, so that you can really tell it's a baseball hat. Now inside of the hat, what kind of logo could we do? We could do Texas A&M, which would be the obvious choice, gig 'em. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a 0 and a number 1, because I don't know exactly what this Chihuahua would be supporting. I don't know what team he's for. And that's a little bit easier for me for this video. And I'm fine if you do copy this video and you do this instead of doing an actual team. So there's my 0, and then my number 1. And then I'm going to have a little bitty ball right on the top of the cap, which you can barely see there. Okay, some of you may be wondering why I did the hat before I did the head or anything else. The reason why I did this is because I can't erase, and I know I need to do the ears now. And if I had done the ears first, then I would have had to erase little pieces of them to get this hat in front. So now, from the corner of this hat, I'm gonna do his first ear, and I want it to be gigantic. Oh yeah, that's a good Chihuahua ear. Then I'm gonna do the other Chihuahua ear from the other corner of the hat. He looks kind of like a bat, honestly. Now I'm gonna do the rest of his face. So I'm just gonna make it like a circle that goes all the way to the other ear. I think that looks pretty good. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to make a little bitty floof that goes inside of the ear that shows where it would be pink versus where there would be hair. To do that, I would come from this line here, and I would go up. Then I would do a zigzag that goes up to the side of that ear. Now on the other side, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go up from that line. I'm gonna do my zigzag. And I think that looks pretty good. What do y'all think? Nobody can answer me because this is a video. The next thing I'm gonna do, and yes, that was my email, you may laugh, is I'm gonna give him a little collar. And there goes the email again. The collar is just gonna be that all the way across. It's kind of like a rectangle, but a little curvy. And I'm gonna give him a tag. And what would I like to name him? Bob. Yep, Bob the Chihuahua. And then I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna start drawing the body of this Chihuahua. To do that, I'm gonna come right off the edge of that collar, and I'm kind of gonna have it come down. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you can see those are kind of coming towards each other, but I'm leaving a big space in between. The next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down here, and I'm gonna do a little circle, and I'm gonna do another little circle on this side. And before I actually draw the legs that go up towards the dog, I wanna come and I wanna draw his chest area. So I'm just gonna make a U shape here, and then I'm gonna have it come down from there. See, if I don't draw this U shape before I draw those legs, sometimes those legs end up way up here and then there's no chest, and then why does that dog's legs that long? It's a little creepy. So we didn't wanna do that. That's why I do the chest part first. Now I'm gonna draw the other leg. Okay, I think he looks pretty good so far. I'm gonna give him some toes. Then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna draw his back feet. Now to do this is really simple. I'm just gonna make a little line there and a little line there. Now, if this dog were standing right in front of you just like this, you wouldn't really see his paws or any other details, but you would see his back legs back there. This is how you would go about drawing them to make them look like they are behind his front legs. And that's all you have to do. The next thing I'm gonna do is gonna be his tail, which is just gonna come out the side here. And I'm gonna make it a little pointy right there. Yep, he's got a fuzzy little tail. And I'm gonna make it wagging, so I add these 2 little lines, 4 little lines. And that is how you would draw your sports-loving Chihuahua. If y'all have any questions, you can let me know. I can't wait to see your actual drawings if you decide to go ahead and follow along with this video. And if it does go too fast, don't forget that you can always pause it.